Hello, Humam. Humam Dweik. I'm so happy to
Yo,
have
yo,
you here. We
yo.
had some technical problems. I'm so sorry to everyone. But we're back now. We're going to make this very short and sweet, and it's going to be super interesting. I'm very excited to do this episode with Humam. Humam, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself before we get into it?
Awesome, awesome stuff, awesome stuff. First of all, thank you, Marwan. Thank you for GrowHome. It's really great to be here. Just have a friendly talk, and that's what it's all about, right? A bit about myself. A proud Palestinian, Jordanian, and Canadian. Representing, you know what I mean? um, so my story is basically, I used to be in med school. I used to be in pre-med, and I was involved in several startups, volunteering situations, different companies. But then again, I felt the need to come back to Jordan, to come back to my country and provide. And that's where the whole story behind Sierra Entrepreneur Ventures and my whole story in consultation back in university. So each and every time that I would learn or hear something from university, I would just help out an SME around me and provide. Again, the main idea is before you ask to get, you should always give. Yeah, coming out from there, the whole story began, different consultations, different startups, managing different incubators, and here we are right now. I've got my own uh, entrepreneurial pool, my own startup pool, managing different ventures, and
So when you say startup
currently
pool,
the regional.
just for the people that'll be watching this later, I met Humam, and the first thing that I was told about him is that any startup in Jordan, he probably had some role in co-founding it. And so, Humam, tell us shway about how you got involved in entrepreneurship and most importantly, why.
So how and what? How is basically, so after getting more and more into different SMEs and helping them out, I really felt still there's more to give. Um, so that's where we're at around along the road. I started getting more involved into startups, getting those trainings. So something about me, I used to love just showing up into different events and different trainings. Um, but that wasn't enough for me. And that's where I
Mm,
started actually to manage those events, manage those trainings, train myself, coach different people, and mentor those people. Again, it's always about not just getting, but also giving. Why entrepreneurship? You do remember what I told you? I barely sleep 2 hours a day, and that's a fact. I always need to fill out the gap during my day. I really feel that urge to give more and more to different startups, different ventures. So that's why I'm the octopus basically within the ecosystem, and
mm.
hence having my own startup pool and co-founding so many startups in that sense because it really means a lot to me. So at the beginning, it was also voluntarily,
Okay.
so a lot of startups would just get help, mentoring, consultation. And the best part about it is when I speak from my own name and represent my own self, I would always give 24/7 to any startup that I can relate to or I can co-found or even just support. So for
Okay.
example, if a startup, hey Humam, what's up, calls me out. Hey Humam, what's up? It's 3 a.m., but I need help with my finances. Hey Humam, it's 7 a.m. I need help with my marketing. I've got a pitch. You got it. Let's do it. And that's the main concept. That's the main aspect of my life is really fulfilling 24 hours of my life.
That's amazing, man. I really wanted to talk to you. So the title of this particular episode and chat is why entrepreneurship and why Jordan. We both know that Jordan is a pretty resource scarce country. There's a lot of economic problems and underdevelopment. What role do you see entrepreneurship playing in the development of the country?
So basics of business, going back to basics of business, any country would have at around 80%. Uh, Mostly startups and SMEs representing vast majority of businesses. While the 20%, again, it always gets back to the Pareto rule, 80 and 20%. So the
What?
80% does represent the Pareto rule is basically an Italian monk came up with that rule that 20% of problems can be solved through 80%, and also 80% of problems can be solved through 20% of specific attributes of a company or an issue happening in any country. So
Okay.
going back to startups, whether we like it or not, whether corporates are acquiring different startups or businesses, at the end of the day, startups will always remain representing and providing towards the sustainability of corporate level companies and different organizations. So and how do startups launch or are founded is through the idea of the need. Basically, you really need to solve a problem, and this is where you just pointed out that Jordan does have a lot of scarce resources or might need. So the idea, what I usually love to say over here is, if you want to create a startup, go try thirst, go try hunger. If you're not thirsty, you're not hungry, you would never be able to provide such an amazing and sustainable startup. And that's the main concept. Get your hands dirty, even if you did not experience hunger or thirst.
Okay.
Hence, that's the main need. So the more hungry you are, the more thirsty you are. I mean, look at Africa. Africa have the most amazing startups and most innovative startups uh, competing around the world. Another example over here is there was a UNDP competition a few weeks ago, and the top startup was an individual in Yemen, and this guy created a whole hospital, five, six medical machines on his own. And when we think about Yemen, we're thinking about war, we're thinking about different diseases other than just coronavirus. And that's the main concept of thirst and hunger towards success, towards actually looking at the light. And
Yeah.
what makes Jordan special is the idea of, that the vast majority or the biggest segment in Jordan are youth. And that's the best part. You can always provide. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen that triangle: time, energy, and money. So take money out. You're trying to struggle, you're trying to grind, you're trying to hustle, but you've got time, you've got energy. So use them very well.
So what I would say to that, and piggybacking off your comments about Africa, for me, the way I see it is that every problem kind of arises with an entrepreneurial opportunity. So the more problems you have in a country, for entrepreneurs, that's a lot more potential solutions, potential revenue streams. And I wanted to ask you, what is the biggest factor that is holding back Jordanian entrepreneurs, being one yourself? What is just one? I don't want four, I want one. One thing.
Okay. I was gonna say mindset. So
Okay.
mindset, it's not just you yourself as an individual, but always the people around you, the people that would actually cheer you out, or people that would pull you down. So
So what's the
mindset is a big barrier.
what's the mindset here for the people watching that don't know what the Jordanian mindset is?
So why I said mindset is the following. It could go either people cheering you for false success, or people also claiming that they're going through false failures. So both sides of the spectrum are false. And that's why I
Mm,
said false and several times. Another point is, so whether it's your family, friends, they create your culture, and trying to hold on to them while trying to hold on to your success at the same time can be really hard, and not everyone can achieve. So that is
okay.
something also with regards to mindset. A lot of people cannot handle the struggle, cannot handle being alone sometimes, cannot handle and going against all issues that might face you as a startup or as an entrepreneur. Cannot handle the idea of, you know what, I'm gonna go hungry for a whole week. I'm not gonna sleep for a whole week. I'm actually gonna face all successes, all failures, all teammates. I don't really care if my all of my teammates leave me out. I'm still gonna succeed. See,
Yeah.
that mindset would actually get us so far.
And
But
in Jordan,
exactly.
okay, so do you think it has anything to do with an educational system that promotes knowledge transfer and memorization as opposed to critical thinking and innovation. Like
I cannot
توجيهي.
agree further. Yeah, I cannot agree further. Funny story. I was just in a meeting talking about that with some stakeholders right now in the ecosystem, and we're talking about different competitors, whether it's on Hult Prize or outside Hult Prize. And we did not just track down what university they go to, what school they've been to, what school they attended. And there are some schools that are well known with different projects, different researches along the way, while other schools really just focus on grades. By the way,
Mm.
don't get me wrong, guys. Over here, I'm a 3.96 GPA student. So when I graduated, I really put academics first. But then again, I also put work first. I put my projects, researches. It's all about breaking a leg, and just memorizing and going to get a grade, get a mark, get your score high. That won't get you much if you only solely focus on that. So I totally
So
agree. The educational system needs to be more challenging,
yeah.
and not just
Okay.
achieving whether it's grades or
We'll get back to that in a second. I wanted to ask you about the informal sector in Jordan. Yani, I think it's around half of all employment in Jordan is informal with no legal protection. بالبلد, it's like. So what what role do these مثلا the ammo that has a falafel stand in the balad, what role do the like what do you see for them in the future? Are they going to be are they like is there going to be a monopoly? Like how do these people advance technologically? Do they advance? What is the role of entrepreneurship and investments in regard in Hello?
yeah, I can hear.
Sorry, did I cut out?
Yeah.
So I was saying, what is the role of investors and stakeholders in regards to the informal sector?
So the informal sector, as you said, does reflect the vast majority of entrepreneurs. Yes, the ammo that has an open falafel in the middle of the street, yes, he's an entrepreneur. Yes, he's a hustler. And you know why? Because he founded that there is a specific street that does not have a falafel stand, and that's where he started selling falafel.
Yeah.
Now, the only part, again, this is a big issue globally when we're talking about legislations and
Mm,
registration. So that ammo would not
mm,
usually have enough money to put out and register and so on. So some great model in the US is you do not need a registration, you do not need a specific location, hence you just need a PO box. Recently, that started actually flowing in Jordan, and that's why streetcars right now are also a trend. And it's right now it's through legislations, it's permissible for people to have streetcars. Back in the day, no, you needed a location and put that streetcar into a location and register the location itself. So
mm.
again, going back to the AMO and small businesses, investors would usually, so talking about VC culture or venture capitalist culture in general, they would usually see something and an opportunity when they see an exit plan. Now, obviously, this Ammo would not have an exit plan. That's his baby. And that Ammo will not grow into creating the next unicorn and just opening up for an IPO. But that Ammo is very critical for economical growth and stimulation. Um, so are they gonna disappear? Totally not. Again, back to businesses. Those businesses will always remain. I'm gonna give you a small example, another example about informal jobs and informal businesses. Most people in Jordan do side gigs. Most people in Jordan do hustle around doing different services,
To
freelance
add, just to
consultations.
add on to that, just one example. Yesterday, I was in a Kareem, and I asked him, do you have a job? Because they all do. And he's like, yeah, I work at a bank. And this
Yeah.
guy works at a bank, and he's still, going out of his way to drive people around, which was just crazy to me. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, funny story. Something about myself. I'm a people's person, so I really love to hear every person's story. So literally, my phone is filled with different Korean captains that that I've been on the ride with, and literally, yeah, this guy does this guy does that, and what I see always is a potential for that person, a different opportunity, whether it's for me or for them. Now that mindset again, it's not spread out, and a lot of people are like, yeah, you just do this. How the hell are you a Korean captain? Funny story. There's actually this person that he owns one of the most expensive restaurants in Jordan. I'm not gonna say the name just for him. And literally, he drives a Korean car.
Mm.
So side gigs, hustling and grinding is a culture, but not everyone understands that,
Yeah.
especially new generations. So old generations would usually grind for two jobs, three jobs, and
Yeah.
full time. We're talking about full time jobs, and not to forget also different side gigs. So
Yeah.
that mindset needs to come back and just move away from the idea of just going 9 to 5. So an entrepreneurial mindset wouldn't be just creating your own business. You can be actually an entrepreneur, being part of the team, helping, supporting different individuals. A couple of months ago, I was actually talking to different people, and I'm like, guys, I'm gonna take a break from everything that I'm doing, and I'm just gonna go supporting different individuals around the block.
Yeah.
Literally, I see a Hajj. I'm like, yo, what's up? I just want to talk to him. I see him lonely, just walking around. I see
That's
different
amazing.
young people that need a bit of guidance, so, and opening different opportunities for them. So that's me also giving back, and that really reflected onto me spiritually, energizing my whole month. And that's where I came back stronger and just to give more. So the idea of being an entrepreneur just doesn't just mean making money, doesn't mean
Love
being
that.
in corporate, doesn't mean creating your own startup. So I totally agree. So that ammo will always be there, and trust me, that ammo will, despite all the struggles, will always be there and create more money, and will follow his dreams, whether it's through him or his children.
And I think just to add on to that, I think that there is there is no difference in terms of like raw talent or skill in like you have the Amal that's selling falafel and then you have a West Ammani, tech company, for example. I think the difference is opportunity. I think
Yes.
that the West Ammani tech guy has opportunities and he has networks and he was raised in an environment where he was, or she was projected to succeed. The Ammo in the Balad, he had to, it makes it even more impressive that they're succeeding. So that's what the thing with Grow Home, what we want to do really is to democratize opportunity, to make sure that someone in America that is successful can give back to the Ammo in the Balad. Give them, for example, $100 or just give them just like a backup plan, or just talk to them about finances and just create these long-term sustainable relationships like you did. And that's crazy, you didn't tell me that you did that, and I love it.
Funny story. So about the ammo, trust me, that ammo knows finance, knows accounting more than half of my friends that graduated from university and just trying to pursue different bankings or financing opportunities or career paths.
Yeah.
That ammo, through experience and field experiences, trust me, believe it or not, ask your parents, ask your grandparents about people
Yeah.
that we see till this day.
Yeah.
There's a person in Al Hussein that used to sell peanuts. There's a
Yeah.
person in Al Balad that used to sell this and that. And till this day, their children still hold that legacy. And if that
Wow.
if that doesn't mean a lot to them, I don't know what would.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Taib, I think that's a great place to end. This was a pretty short episode, but I love this conversation and I hope to have you back on soon. And
Awesome.
we're gonna talk after this. We can, Humam, tell our followers where they can follow you, where they can see what you're doing.
Humam Dweik, HUMAMDWEIK. I'm everywhere, all social medias. So just hit me up at any time, and I'm ready to support you guys.
Amazing, Humam. Thank you so much for taking the time, Habibi.
Thank you, Marwan, and thank you everyone for that are listening right now. So take care, guys.
Yalla.
Stay
Talk to you
hustling,
soon.
keep grinding, stay safe, guys.
Yalla. Bye bye, bro. Peace.
Take care, bro. Take care.